morning, everybody. Welcome to the kitchen. Today we're going to make cinnamon maple pecans. And we're going to put these over our butternut squash gratin, which just came out of the oven. So that's going to look beautiful for Thanksgiving. But the cinnamon maple pecans can be used for garnish on anything, like our pumpkin cheesecake it could go on top of, or you could just snack on them. So these are a lovely thing. We are going to use 1 pound of pecan halves. We need half a cup of sugar, half a cup of water to make a simple syrup with first. So we'll put the water and the sugar into our small pot and get that going. So I'll just get that starting now. This is how you make simple syrup, equal parts water and sugar. Bring it to a boil and then turn it off. All right, so I'm gonna let that boil. And then we're gonna add to it, once it's boiled, we're gonna add to it our maple syrup, our brown sugar, and then we're gonna toss our pecans with the cinnamon and mix everything together, then put it on a Silpat lined sheet pan or parchment paper lined sheet pan and roast them 325 degrees and stir them every about 8 minutes until they are. So this is our simple syrup and we're only gonna use a ½ cup of it. So once you've made it, measure a ½ cup, and then we're gonna add in our 2 tablespoons of maple syrup. And this is pure maple syrup. Okay. You want to stir that. Now that is boiling, so it's really hot, so be careful when you're working with it. And in this bowl, we have our 2 tablespoons of dark brown sugar and our cinnamon. So I'm just going to stir that together, and we're going to toss our pecans with this. And lastly, we'll then toss it with the simple syrup. So I like to use my hands when I'm cooking. All right. Get that all mixed in. And then we're gonna toss it in with our pecans. Just like that. I'm gonna let that cool a little bit, but then I'm gonna toss in the simple syrup, coat everything. I will line this with parchment paper and then we'll put it in the oven. Here are our finished gratins. Here is the one where we layered, and then here's the one where we just chopped up cubes and put them in. So I think they both look absolutely beautiful, and this will be wonderful to taste. And then you can garnish it with the cinnamon maple pecans that were got in the oven right now roasting. And so when those are done, they'll come out and it'll be a nice accompaniment to the side dish for Thanksgiving, which I'm sure you could make this anytime. It looks so beautiful with the sage leaves on top. These have been in the oven a while, and I've taken them out every 10 minutes and tossed them. What I did is, because I didn't have a Silpat to fit this, I sprayed the bottom with non-stick cooking spray and then put it directly onto that, because you got to keep stirring this. And as you stir it, the maple syrup and sugar begins to make a candy coating over this. So I'm going to put this back in because I do want to dry it out. There's a couple spots where there's a bit wetness. And so I'm going to put this back in 300 degrees for maybe 8 more minutes, and then they should be done. Here are our candied pecans on top of our butternut squash gratins, and this is the cinnamon maple candied pecans. I toss them with simple syrup, which is made with a ½ cup of sugar, ½ cup of water, bring it to a boil, then we measure a ½ cup of the simple syrup, added 2 tablespoons of maple syrup to that, stirred it together. We mix together our 2 tablespoons of dark brown sugar and a ½ teaspoon of ground cinnamon, tossed it with the nuts, then poured the hot liquid over it, stirred it all together, put it on a baking dish without parchment. I sprayed it with non-stick spray. If you're using a larger baking tray and you have a Silpat, you can use it right on the Silpat. We baked it for about 35 minutes, and about every 10 minutes I stirred them until all of the excess liquid evaporated and crystallized around the edges. And then we just let them cool off the pan so they don't stick and become one giant mass of candied pecans. And this is great. We can put it on top of our pumpkin cheesecake or our gratin, or just eat them on their own. They're absolutely delicious. All right, everybody, take care. Hope you make this at home. Bye. For more recipe demonstrations, please click like and subscribe to Chef Victoria Loves YouTube channel and have fun in the kitchen. Thank you.